All right, testing 1, 2. H Wolf 3. Here, still above ground for the truth hurts. And of course, my partner in crime is here also. Roman Claude Rankin. Say hi to the good people, Claude. All right. If you can get your volume up a little bit, that'd be great. Crank it on up so the good people can hear you. All right, let me got your.
Can you hear me now?
It's a little weak, but it's better. I know I got my volume cranked all the way up.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's much better. Much better. All right, folks. The truth hurts. We're back. I think we used that title before, but it's still good. We've been away now for not our web page, our Facebook web page, but we haven't done any live shows in a while, and there's a reason for that. We're gonna get into that, but first, Claude, how you been doing, man?
I've been fantastic.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Same here, but I took the long route to be able to say I'm fantastic because I was not fantastic. Starting back in September of last year, we're gonna keep. This is not gonna be a quick episode, but I'm not gonna make it overly long. So let me get right to the point. I went to my doctor, looked me in my eye, and said, "You need to go to emergency." And I said, "Why?" Because you have heart block and you. I don't know how you're still standing. I said, "Say what?" And I had driven to his office for a checkup, for follow up. So next thing I know, I'm in the operating room, and I'm called my wife and my sister, and I'm praying, and we're praying and having a discussion. Should I go through with this operation? They were like, "Yeah, if you want to stay above ground, you better."
Yeah.
So I went ahead with it, and it was a success. And I want to thank, first and foremost, Jesus Christ. I want to thank my doctor, my wife, Claude, all the people who stuck by me. You really see who your friends are. And I'm happy to say most of my friends stuck by me. So that's a blessing. That's a blessing. The main thing is that God stuck by me. I asked him for an extension, and he granted that. So I'm on the walking the straight and narrow. Because once you ask God for a request and he grants it, you better meet the terms. You better meet them. I fear him above and beyond anything because he has the power of life and death. So, with that out the way, we want to get right into it. We got a lot of topics to cover. And let me go over them first. And then we're going to go over what we're going to tackle first. We want to talk about, we're going to do some reviewing of some topics we did last year that all of our predictions came to pass. We're batting 1,000. We're going to talk about Lamor Whitehead, the bling bling preacher. We're going to talk briefly about Alec Baldwin, aka we call him Rust for brains. What'd you say? Yeah, I know, but we're gonna recap it because there's updates to all this stuff. There's old news, there's updates.
Okay, what do you got?
You'll see. Then we're gonna talk about Sunny, aka Tammy Sitch. We're gonna give an update on her.
McMahon do partner in crime.
You mean more like new cellmate.
Yeah.
Johnathan Majors. We'll do an update on him. He was one of our more recent. Well, it was not recent as in this year, but last year we talked about him.
Mm-hmm.
So update on him. Now the other topics we want to cover after we do our lightning review, the infamous P. Diddy or whatever his name is. I don't even know what this guy.
I call him Sean Combs.
Sean Combs. I don't even know what his real name is anymore.
Sean Combs, he's going down. Let's keep it going. He's going down.
You're going to talk more about that because I don't even follow him. I know who he is, but that's about it. I can elaborate a little bit on it. We're going to talk about a man that was once called the White Monkey, John Cena. We'll talk about him, wrestler / actor turned actor. I don't know which was first.
Wait. I let that. Let me have that to myself.
No, I ain't going. No way. It's going to be equal opportunity on this one.
Okay.
We're going to talk about our basketball team, local basketball team, the Detroit Pistons, who have fallen on bad, hard times.
What, the 89 Pistons or the so-called Pistons we got right now?
We're going to talk about all of them. We're going to piece everything together to figure out what the heck happened to this franchise. Because right now, it is the worst in the NBA. We want to figure out what went wrong. It's a bunch of reasons. We're going to try to keep this hit it and quit it. So let's keep it moving. We're going to talk about staying on the NBA. We're going to talk a little bit about gambling, sports gambling. We're going to also mention a little bit about the NCAA, about gambling and that basketball NCAA, because now we're into March Madness, and also the transgender junk that's going on that's wrecking sports, and try to get some idea why they're pushing this thing. But we'll talk about that. All right.
It's killing me inside.
It's killing Claude inside and me too. All right, let's get right into it. Let's start right out the gate with the update on the Bling Bling Preacher.
I'm gonna let you have that.
All right, for the refresher, I'm gonna play a quick video. I'll take that back. I'm gonna play part of it, very short clip, and then we're gonna get right into it. All right, stand by. Now, this was Anthony Brian Logan's channel on YouTube, also known as ABL, that does this report. Stand by.
This gentleman, the Bling Bling Bishop, also known as Lamor Whitehead, well, he's going to the penitentiary to make big rocks to little rocks, and he most certainly earned it. Let's talk about it. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about the Bling Bling Bishop, also known as Lamor Whitehead, who has been convicted of wire fraud, extortion, and lying to the federales, and he faces, as it said in the article, decades in the penitentiary making big rocks to little rocks. Now, this guy has been a scammer for a very long time. He's already been to prison for identity theft. This is pretty much what he does. I think anytime you see this guy, he's trying to scam you. That's just my humble opinion. And according to what he's been charged and convicted with, again, I think I might be right. Now, let's go back to the picture right here. This is Lamor Whitehead, who in this picture was a pastor of a church. And you see the drip. You see the jury, okay? He's iced out. You got on the Fendi suit. It's like a clown suit, but you see he got it on. And you see the jury on the wrist, the big crazy ring. What does he do for a living? Well, apparently it's called scamming. It's called robbing. It's called finessing. That's what it looks like to me. Now, you may not remember him for being the bling bling pastor, for being a scammer. You may remember a viral clip in which he was featured in of his church being robbed on live stream. Now, let's go revisit this with the new knowledge of his criminal past and criminal present. This may be seen a little bit differently.
You about to go through. Yo. All right. Yo, all right.
So that is a moment where armed masked men.
All right. We're back. Basically, ABL summed it up. He was convicted and he's going to prison for fraud. He's a professional con man. As many of these so-called ministers are agents of the devil, masquerading as ministers of the light. So, what did you say, Claude?
I think one is Kwame.
Who?
Kwame Kilpatrick.
Kwame Kilpatrick. Yeah, we'll bring him up in a minute. Good call. Lamor Whitehead gypped a lady, an older lady, like an elderly woman. They got her like, I don't know, $70,000, $90,000, basically like her life savings or something like that. A lot of these men do these cons, especially these pastors, because people trust them. Now, I'm not saying everybody's like that, no way, but a lot of them are. A lot of them do it undercover. We said this is a Truth Hurts show. I know a lot of people believe in these men. What do they call it? Like blindly. But yeah, a lot of them are like that. And Lamor Whitehead is just one of many. There's no shame. So they had the goods on him, so now he's going in. Now, to Claude's point, was you KK, Kwame Kilpatrick, Reverend Kilpatrick, ex-mayor of Detroit. Oh, by the way, Lamor Whitehead was good friends with the mayor of New York. What's his name? Eric Adams? Am I right? You don't know it. That's the mayor of New York. So anyway, what are you going to say about KK? Because I can say a lot of things.
More than I can say, shoot. Since y'all want to talk about shady people, we can talk about him.
Well, believe it or not, of course. Kwame Kilpatrick was convicted of stealing, I don't know how much money, but well over $1 million from the city of Detroit. He also was got RICO charges, that's like racketeering. He also got, it's a laundry list of things, but mainly the theft. He lied under oath. He was an adulterer. He was a lot of things. And he went to prison. And of all people, I guess it takes one to know one, Donald Trump got him out, commuted his sentence. But instead of laying low, KK declared himself a minister. You said what again? Came out of the closet. So he, Lord have mercy. He, I can't get over that. Came out the closet. Not that closet, I don't think, because he remarried. His wife, Carlita, divorced him. And, or was it the other way around? I can't remember. I know he was in prison when it happened. I'm sorry, what?
I thought she divorced him.
I think it was that. So he tried to become a minister here in Detroit. They wasn't buying it. So he moved to Atlanta. And he set up shop. And I think he's online. He's got a following. But he just could not leave good enough alone. He got out of prison. He had a chance to distance himself and be low key, but he just couldn't resist. His wife, he remarried, got a new wife, has a new baby, and she bought a house in Novi, Michigan,
Wow.
of all places. And the feds was like, "Oh, you do have money to pay back," because they couldn't get the money he owed. He owed over $1 million in restitution. So for my last reports, he's they're after him. They're after him. I'm not gonna make any analogy. They're after him.
Bad boy.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? It's that type of situation.
Yeah, that's an inside joke.
That's an inside joke. Now, really quick, I'm gonna put up some scriptures about this situation that I heard this from Apostle Jennings today. First one is Ezekiel. Let me make sure I got these right in the right order. 34. Yep. 34:4. And it reads thusly. Ezekiel 34:4. The disease have ye not strengthened, neither have ye healed that which was sick. Neither have ye bound up that which was broken, neither have ye bought again that which was driven away. I'm sorry. Neither have ye brought again, not bought. Brought again that which was driven away. Neither have ye sought that which was lost, but with force and with cruelty have ye ruled them. This scripture, the apostle explained, is referring to preachers, to all of these fake, phony preachers who are fleecing the flock, fleecing the sheep, fleecing the people. That's what this is referring to. So this is the Lord calling them out. Now let's look at this next one. Is Ezekiel 34:10. Thus saith the Lord God, behold, I am against the shepherds, and I will require my flock at their hand, and cause them to cease from feeding the flock, neither shall the shepherds feed themselves any more, for I will deliver my flock from their mouth, that they may not be meat for them. So basically, the way that was broken down, explained, these men, the Creflo Dollars, the Kwame Kilpatricks, the Lamor Whiteheads, what's that nut, who's actually Apostle Jennings' cousin, which is shocking. The one we talked about, Jamal Bryant.
Yeah.
I could go, no, not Kobe Bryant, Jamal Bryant. Jamal Bryant's still alive. Kobe is dearly departed. But there's so many of them. I just named a few. Jim Jones in the past, the man who murdered 900 people, responsible for 900 deaths. Back in the old days, before we was even born, Prophet Divine, Reverend Ike. I could just go on all guys who were basically like pimps, pimping the people, and the people fell for it. And they promised them big money in return. Some people did get paid, and most got the gate, got the shaft. Shaft. Right on. So, that's it in a nutshell. The Lord, this is the year where a lot of these people are being exposed. And we're going to get to that with P. Diddy shortly. But they're getting exposed.
No, you got
I'm sorry, who?
No, I'm singing one of his songs, but that's all right. That's all right.
Oh, no. So all these people are being exposed. The people are waking up. And so they're like, who will we turn to now? You turn back to God because you done tried all these other liars. They done deceived you. They done ripped you off and stolen your money. They done done all types of unmentionable things, which unfortunately we will mention tonight. So this is the tip of the iceberg, but I wanted to start off with that, to update on Lamor Whitehead, Bishop Lamor Whitehead. Any comments before we close it out on him and KK, Kwame Kilpatrick?
No, just to get off the phone.
Okay.
I'll call it a spade.
Oh, no, he said a spade, a spade. All right, I hear you. Let's keep it moving. Quick update on, we did a show called Musk for Brains. I'm sorry, my bad. I'm jumping ahead. Rust for Brains. And it was in regards to Alec Baldwin, who infamously shot and killed his cinematographer. And also, was it his director? Well, no, he was the director. He shot somebody else. The bullet passed through well, she was a female. And the bullet passed through her. Well, you know what? Hold on. Let me play this right quick. And then we'll wrap that up. In our lightning round, stand by.
This is the last scene cinematographer Helena Hutchins ever filmed. Alec Baldwin rehearsing a shooting scene. Moments later, the gun was fired, killing her and injuring the film's director. New Mexico police have released all the files associated with the ongoing criminal investigation into Ms. Hutchins' death. Officers can be seen arriving on the scene of a film set transplanted into a real-life tragedy. Inside the church where the shooting happened, investigators attempt to piece together the moment Hollywood superstar Baldwin shot dead Hutchins.
The last I got from her was it went in through her right and out the left back.
Outside, officers inspect Baldwin's clothing. He's still dressed as the cowboy character he was depicting in the film. He pauses briefly to answer his mobile phone.
Could you hold on 1 second, please?
Baldwin has denied pulling the trigger on the gun which killed Hutchins and says he doesn't know how live rounds came to be on the set.
Okay, what is your full name?
The film's armourer, Hannah Gutierrez-Reed, is also captured on police body cam in the immediate aftermath of the shooting.
Okay, that's enough for that.
Too much drama.
So basically, as you just showed, he shot his cinematographer and director. Okay, so I was right the first time. It was the director as well. The bullet passed through the female cinematographer. She was married, and also hit the director. He did not die. So Alec Baldwin claimed that the gun just magically just went off. Even though she's filming him pulling back the hammer of the gun trigger, not the trigger, but the hammer of the gun. So it's like he ain't getting away with that. So there was a lot of people saying, "Oh, it was just a mistake." Blah blah blah. He ain't gonna get no time. He's not gonna get convicted. They will throw that out. They were wrong. He's going to trial. He will stand and face for his crimes. The woman that is shown in the video was what they call the armorer. She handles the weapons and she violated every safety standard in the book. You are not, as we talked about in the previous show, supposed to have live ammunition on a film set. Yet they had live ammunition, meaning real ammunition, and were firing it around like they was at a Disneyland or something. So that's the update on that. He's going to go in. Any comments on that, Claude, before we move on?
I said, one you supposed to have props on your movies. The comic movie directors have props. Some things called props.
Mm-hmm.
Not this fool. Not this clown.
No. He's got to be so authentic. He has real bullets on the set.
I think he killed Bruce Leroy.
Bruce Leroy? Stop.
I'm sorry.
Stop it. Stop it. First of all, he's not dead. Timac. What?
Bruce Lee is dead.
You said Bruce Leroy.
Oh.
That ain't no Bruce Lee. By the way, I'm glad you brought that up. I'm going to mention this real quick. To this very day, now that happened way back in 1973 when he died, Bruce Lee. And there's been so many conspiracy theories about that, and he was killed by the Chinese, the Japanese Yokozuna, or what was it called, Chinese Triad, or whatever the mafia groups that are over in Asia. And I've come to the conclusion, because a lot of people have been interviewed about this over the decades. Everybody from Chuck Norris, who worked with them, a.k.a. Walker, Texas Ranger. He's been in a zillion movies himself. And who was another one? Oh, Jackie Chan.
Yeah.
And I've come to the conclusion after all these years, that man, basically his heart gave out. Because Bruce Lee was writer, producer, director. He didn't perform all of his stunts, but he performed many of them. And the man trained almost 24/7. And I don't care if you're 16, if you overdo it, you literally can drop dead. And if anybody want to dispute that, I'm saying I'm talking from experience. because that's what almost happened to me. So, and I don't even remotely think I worked as hard as Bruce Lee did, but I am a hard worker. Claude is a hard worker. We worked all our lives. We ain't trying to pimp and scam nobody. We get out here and work if we want to earn our living or work for something. We're not begging people for a Movado watch or a Rolex or a Bentley or nothing, or a yacht or a plane. We get out and work. And Bruce Lee was a very, very extremely hard worker. The man invented his own style of martial arts on top of the movies he made. He was married. He had 2 children, Shannon and Brandon. We know what happened to Brandon. He was killed just like that cinematographer was on the set of The Crow, of Rust. For Mr. Rust for Brains, he was killed in a similar fashion. The difference, though, with Brandon, that wasn't an actual bullet. It was like a blank shell. That was the kind you really supposed to use. But the fragment of the what they call it, blank, round, that's what discharged. It was a freak. I don't know if it was a freak accident or planned, but it was planned to a degree. Now, I don't know about killing them, but the fragment went into him, to Brandon Lee, and that's what killed him. So it was like a bullet that was hollowed out with a blank that was just supposed to explode and produce a charge, not be a projectile. It's a big difference. I hope I explained that right, because that's pretty technical stuff.
They try to take his money.
Basically, I still think it was something behind that. But in the case of Bruce Lee, I think that was what the bottom line was. I think his heart gave out because nobody shot Bruce Lee. He was on certain types of medications and different things. He probably overdid that too. A lady, what was her name? Betty Pay? It was not his wife. She gave him something because he complained of a headache. I'm sorry, what?
I thought it was his nurse.
No, that was somebody he may have been having an affair with. I'm not sure. Don't quote me. Don't sue me because I'm only going by what I've read and I've seen in different videos. You got to remember, folks, this was way back in 1973. So everybody and their mama and daddy has chimed in on this.
It's 2024 now.
Yeah, it's 2024. Let's move on. I know people trying to get YouTube views and all that stuff, but don't just make up something. You know, the man died. It was his time. Whether it was premature brought on by I think it was premature brought on by he overworked himself.
I need money. Right. Ain't that much money in the world.
I don't have a picture to throw up, but one thing about Bruce Lee, the last movie he made while he was still alive, Enter the Dragon, he was poised to become one of the biggest superstars in terms of film in the world. He had already smashed every record in Asia. But once that movie hit the U.S., it was all over. He was already known here for doing the Green Hornet. But
I remember that. That was a good movie.
Well, he was in the original TV show.
Yeah, I remember that. And
they made a movie. Yeah, that wasn't Bruce Lee in the movie.
What happened? No, the thing about that one that killed me about it is they wouldn't give him his money. They won't give him his props, his respect on the movie. So they cut his show off. And when, you know how we do in our world, like, you don't give me my respect, well, we won't give you won't show you no love without giving you no money.
Yeah, that's something like what happened. Bruce Lee, because I grew up in the 60s, I remember Bruce Lee distinctly. You know, his show ran alongside, the Green Hornet ran alongside Batman. And kids used to go crazy over Batman. You remember the movie Blank Man?
Yeah.
Remember the right. Remember the opening scene when they were trying to fix the TV with the antenna?
Yeah.
Because they didn't want to miss Batman. That's how it really was. We just went crazy. So Green Hornet was the show that ran opposite that show, produced by the same people. I think it was Greenway Productions, whatever it was called. And man, we went, wow, Bruce Lee. Nobody had seen nobody do no moves like that before. He was way ahead of his time. And Hollywood at that time just simply did not know what to do with him, or didn't want to, as you just stated, they didn't want to give him his props. He was just too advanced. He was just way too advanced. This guy could act. He could fight out of this world. And there was nobody there who could touch him. So it wasn't their practice to put an Asian above, their so-called heroes. So they did suppress him. And they took one of his ideals, what's called Kung Fu.
Yeah, and gave it to David Carradine.
To David. to Kill Bill. They gave it to him. And Bruce Lee was like, I've had enough. So he went back to Asia and started gave him a movie deal. And that's when he really, really took off. And he was poised at a young age of 32 to become the biggest movie star, action star, period. And that's when he died. That's when he died.
You're going to give him his flowers while he's alive.
Yeah, they had to wait till after he was dead. But that's how the devil worked. But there's also another lesson in there is don't wear yourself out trying to get rich and famous, or you'll end up checking up out of here. It's one of the ironies of life, you know. So let's keep it moving because I don't want to spend too much time. But we're not going to rush it because we need to cover this stuff. So let's move on.
Okay.
So we cover Rust for Brains.
Next.
Next on the list is Tammy Stitch.
I could have said something, but we on PTV. I want to get our fans to say we Romans.
Bye. Stand by. For some reason, I know what I did wrong. I lost audio. So we're talking about this woman. I'm going to put her picture back up.
Y'all need to see it. We all know what she did.
Tammy Stitch.
Trash.
A.K.A. Sonny. Now, for those who you don't know, because you probably don't even recognize her with this picture, because it's pretty bad. This is her mugshot. She at one point. 9527789. Very funny. She used to be one of the biggest names in wrestling.
Yes.
She was a WWF diva. She was one of the first that was called that. And she was wildly popular. She didn't really do much wrestling. She was had the role of a manager or valet. I would say more of as a manager. Am I right?
I give her a manager.
All right, so
ballet for women. Ballet for women.
Okay, so ballet for women, but manager for men.
Yeah.
And she, without a shadow of a doubt, she was one of the biggest names in wrestling. That's undisputed. That was in the 90s, 1990s.
Besides certain people, she was the number one in the WWF.
Oh, no doubt. But what happened, her morals were questionable, and that's a gross understatement. And she did a lot of unscrupulous things. But after she retired, oh, by the way, they put her in the Hall of Hall of Fame, WWF Hall of Fame.
It's killing me.
Oh, it's a killer. But what happened, she got heavily into drug use, pornography. Yes, she was also a porn actress. And she was a substance abuser. That's what I said, substance abuser. Alcohol, drugs. And her mind was already, I guess, a little shaky, and it really became unstable. So she developed this bad habit of driving drunk, getting behind the wheel behind a 3,000, 4,000 pound car and hurtling herself. So finally her evil ways caught up with her. She rear-ended a guy, I think this is what they call it, in California, and killed him.
Yes.
And so now she's been sentenced and she's going in, which we predicted was going to happen.
Yes, this is true.
So just a quick update on Sonny. We ain't going to keep this going, but that's was her reckoning. Destiny.
we said that.
I'm sorry, what?
We said that a long time ago.
Yeah, I know, but we want to let the people know what
Right.
just an update.
I said we was right, you was wrong.
Right, because some people, people become blind about celebrities and think somehow they're supposed to be above the law. No. If you kill somebody, you got to go to prison just like anybody else. Your celebrity status doesn't save you.
Yes. As John Cena. As
Yeah, we gonna get to them in a minute. But we're gonna move on from Sunny and move to another one about to go in. We're gonna keep this one short and sweet too. Let me get his picture. There he is. Johnathan Majors.
Oh.
He's I'm trying to remember, did he went to trial and he was convicted.
I thought Megan Good got him out.
All right, we'll come back to her. You said she got him out. I guess he posted bail, I guess, if that's what you mean. I don't know, but she okay, we'll get to her in a minute. Johnathan Majors, a quick recap. Actor who became well known for playing in different roles and some high profile roles, including Creed, the movie Creed.
The third Creed.
It was the third one. Okay. So the Creed, and what was the other big? Oh, he played Kang, the Conqueror, in one of the Avengers movies. Don't give me the line. Or Ant-Man and Wasp, Quantumania. I haven't seen the Ant-Man movies at all.
I ain't paying attention to it.
So he's done several other projects, which you go back and look at that episode, we'll go into more detail. But we're not going to do that now.
He ain't worth my time.
We tried to. That was Cold Claw. But we tried to. We weren't giving him the benefit of the doubt, but what we was wondering, why did they turn on him so harshly?
I don't. I want to say it. Because if he was another color, he would have got a pass. That's what I was about.
Yeah, that's the theory we had. But at the end of the day, they came out with some accusations claiming he had abused a bunch of women. And my thing was, what is he, Bill Cosby now? This guy that's got a dossier, a rap sheet as long as the best of them. And I'm like, is he that old? I think he's in his late 20s. I was like, wow.
He's got to be my age.
No, he's no.
Who are you talking about?
Johnathan Majors. No, not Johnathan Majors. No, Johnathan Majors is only he's in his late 20s. Are you saying you in your late 20s? Stop it. But anyway, the bottom line is he's going in. He claimed he didn't do what is he was accused of assaulting his girlfriend. And he denied it. He said he was the one that was attacked. And when you looked at the footage, his story does seem to add up. Because they had street footage of what do they call those cameras? Those like surveillance cameras. Yeah. But she had injuries, and when it just he couldn't explain his way out of it. It looked, I don't know, it's just a bad situation. Now to Megan Good. Johnathan Majors dated a lot of women, and they accused him, after this incident, they accused him of being abusive. So he tended to prefer a certain type of woman, but now he's with a quote unquote sister, Megan Good, but Megan Good is divorced. So, it's a hot mess. It's a hot mess. So he's with her now. She's standing by her man. For now. We'll see how long it lasts. We'll see how long when he goes in, if she stays by him.
I give it 2 years.
You give it 2 years? Yeah. All right. We won't bet on it because we're gonna get on about that later. We won't put a wager on it. Anyway, so there you go, folks. Johnathan Majors, he's going in as well. Him, Tammy. Now you wanted to mention, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, briefly about Vince McMahon. Or am I wrong?
Yeah, he came around from us forever. That bum, he's going down. For all the people he killed over the lifetime, about 70 years, he came around from us forever. He got his day. His day is coming.
Yeah.
And it's him and all his tag team partners. If they ain't dead, they going to jail with him.
Now, who was that? Who specifically are you? You said tag team partner.
His tag team partner. If his partners ain't alive now, they dead. Like Bruce Pritchard. Bruce Pritchard.
Oh, you mean people like people that were like Pat Patterson?
Yeah. Pat Patterson's gone.
Bruce Pritchard, who was wasn't he Brother Love?
No, the other one. There's another one.
Another Pritchard. Okay. What was the other one? Who was his enemy, and then he came aboard the WWF. He's the one that ran WCW.
Is his name Johnathan something?
No, the one that ran the NWO.
Oh, Eric Bischoff.
Eric Bischoff.
He's dead. What? Eric Bischoff? No, he ain't dead.
No, he's not dead. No. So what Claude is referring to, Vincent Kennedy McMahon Jr. was the CEO of the WWF, aka WWE, World Wrestling Federation, World Wrestling Federation, World Wrestling Entertainment. And by the way, they had to change their name from the WWF to the WWE because of the World Wildlife Fund had to copyright to the WWF to use that. That's a little side history.
I remember that you told me that.
I told you about that, yeah. So let's get to the point right quick because we don't want to spend a lot of time on this. Vince McMahon has done some things the average human person probably couldn't dream of. He faked his own death on a show.
Yeah.
Part of a storyline.
And they kicked him in the butt.
Right. He had to come out of the storyline because in real life, Chris Benoit, the wrestler, committed suicide and killed his wife and child. But he had to account for that.
Oh, what was his name?
It's never him. That's the tip of the iceberg. But one of the most egregious things he did, and this isn't even why he had to resign, was he had to resign from CEO of the WWF, principal owner, because a woman accused him of rape.
Ain't nothing new for him.
So it's nothing new. But what was different about this, why he couldn't just say, "Oh, she's lying," blah blah blah, is because he had already been making payments to her for hush money.
Your check bounces.
And his check, yeah, basically what Claude said is his check bounced. So she was like, "Oh no, you're not gonna sweep this under the rug." So, but the most egregious thing that we had against him, me and Roman personally, was the death of Owen Hart.
Yeah.
Owen Hart was a wrestler, extremely popular wrestler, the brother of Bret the Hitman Hart. He was killed coming down on a what do they call those things? A cable, a wire.
Yeah, wire.
Coming down on a wire, making an entrance to the ring when the harness gave away. And he plunged about, I don't know, maybe 50, 60, 90 feet to his death. He hit the ring post, and I think that's what really killed him. And that was a bad way to go. Bad way to go. So they worked on Owen's body. He's bleeding in the ring, and he passes away. What does old Vinnie Mac do? He gets him wheeled out. And this Owen would have wanted the show to go on. I'm like, really? I think Owen would have wanted to live. What is this nonsense? So that's when we was like, oh, no. Now, you'd have done some dirty things before, but just take the cake.
Yeah.
And at one point, there were so many WWF wrestlers dying, it was just frightening. Now, can he be blamed for all of them? Of course not. But I don't know. He did some things that were morally reprehensible. That's a big word. In other words, he did some really dirty stuff to folk. The character of the $1 Million Man, I don't know if the old heads remember $1 Million Man, was played by Ted DiBiase. And he had the black bodyguard, Virgil. And Virgil just passed.
Which recently passed away.
Yeah. He just recently passed away. He wasn't that old.
About 60-something.
Yeah. So that character, the $1 Million Man, a person very egotistical, could feel he could buy anybody when he wanted to. They'd sell out for money. That was Vince McMahon's creation, and he patterned it after himself.
Pure genius.
Genius, pure genius.
Yeah.
And a lot of people didn't know that, but heck, I didn't even know it. But it all made sense when I found it out. It all made sense. So that's how he operated, and he finally ran into somebody he couldn't buy off, and that was the woman.
Mm-hmm.
So he had to step down as CEO, and you do not see him anymore.
Yeah.
Also, he's facing a criminal trial. I'm sure he's got to pull all his resources together because he's a billionaire to fight this thing, because if he loses, he's going in. He's going in. It's that simple. Anything you want to add to that, Claude? I know you do, but for the sake of time,
For the sake of time, just I'm going to let him pass.
Boy, I tell you, this is something else. This is a show of shows right here. Let's keep it moving.
Long pass on this event.
Right. That's a good thing. Moving on. All right, good news. We finished all of the review items. Let's move into the new stuff that we haven't covered. You know what? We missed. We're missing one.
John Cena bumps up?
No. Musk for brains.
I thought we did get that from.
No, we haven't done him yet. I'm gonna keep this short and sweet. Elon Musk, we did a segment on him a while ago, and basically, the world tends to gravitate, or they tend to follow people with money, just like with the Vince McMahon thing. And Elon Musk is a billionaire. He owns Tesla. He also owns this SpaceX, which I personally think is let me shut up. Shut up, Henry. I'm gonna get in too much trouble. Anyway, let's stick to the facts as we know it. He owns this company, SpaceX, that supposedly blast rockets into space, and you can book a flight on the rockets and all this stuff. So anyway, I'm gonna play a quick video. It's not gonna be probably a minute, and we're gonna hear what Mr. You know what? I'm not gonna play it. No, I'm gonna save us the torture. Elon Musk got on a video and said he doesn't believe in God, and he's his own man in so many words. And when I got sick with malaria, I didn't pray. I just didn't. I just healed myself, I guess. I guess that's what he said. I don't know what this so-called man was saying. But he's an atheist, and in my opinion, we talked on this segment that this man is a liar and a hypocrite. He's a liar and a hypocrite. And the scriptures back that up. And Lord, forgive me, I can't think of the scripture off my head, but it's in the book of Job, and it basically says, the man who says there is no God is a hypocrite and a liar. Point of this, so why I wanted to do the update. This man I said he was a liar, in my opinion. Well, ain't my opinion. I mean, these are facts, because he told two blatant lies. He said that blacks, now we're in 2024 now. This man formed his lips and he said blacks don't have the intelligence to fly planes. Which is absolutely hilarious. So when I read this article, which was on the internet, I made a comment. It had you could make comments. And I said, this man is a hypocrite and a bona fide certified liar, because anybody who knows anything about history of aviation, some of the greatest pilots ever were the Tuskegee Airmen, also known as the Red Tails. If you don't know anything about them, look at the movie. That what's his name? Lucas?
No, it was what's his name? I can't think of it off the top of my head.
No, I'm talking about the man who made the movie.
Oh no, I'm thinking about the kid.
Lucasfilms. What's his name? The Star Wars man. I'm sorry, who?
No, never mind.
You didn't say Carl Weathers, did you? But anyway.
I didn't say Carl Weathers.
Carl Weathers. So Lucasfilms. I forgot his first name. That's age for you. Lucas made that movie out of his own money because he couldn't get any backing to do it. I wonder why. But anyway, he took $20 million. I think he raised the money, and he made that movie. And the movie was a success. And I mean, you didn't have to make a movie to know it's true. I mean, it's just a part of history. They helped save World War II for the Allies. I'm sorry, what?
I said yes.
Right. Well, you saw the movie, so you know what I'm talking about. So, for him to form his lips to say that, this man is gone. He's just a lie. He just lies. Well, he took it a step further recently. Here's why I'm doing the update. Well, first of all, I didn't talk about that because it hadn't happened yet, about when he made this crack about the blacks having low IQ.
Oh yeah,
We didn't talk about that because he hadn't made that comment yet. He took it a step further recently.
Can't fly airplanes.
Well, we can't fly airplanes, and in his mind, I guess we can't run cities.
We can't drive cars.
We can't drive cars. He formed his lips to. Okay, let me rephrase that. I take that back. They got this thing called DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, and it's ticked off a lot of people, especially conservatives, so-called conservatives, because it's about promoting people based on like so-called perceived disadvantages. And once again, it's supposed to like level the playing field like affirmative action. So this has been a big part of the Biden administration and all this yada yada. So people don't like that because they say things should be based on merit and your credentials, your education, your merit, your history, not because you're black. I mean, I'm gonna just keep it blunt. So now that's debatable. It's debatable. You know, it's pros and cons to that point of view. But what happened when this recent incident happened in Baltimore, where the ship ran into the bridge and the bridge collapsed? Good old Elon, who, by the way, owns Twitter, he changed it to X. So it's not called Twitter anymore. It's called X. And X is his so-called name. X. His daddy named him that. So he's like Professor X, I guess. Or the X-Men. I think I lost Claude. We'll get him back. So let's wrap this up, folks. He said that the mayor of Baltimore, who happens to be black, got the mayor appointment, who was appointed mayor because of DEI. And that is just simply not true. Not true. That man was elected mayor with 70% of the vote. So let's shoot that out. So he knew that. And the people got on his case and he had to retract it. He had made a tweet or whatever they call it now, an X post, and he had to take it down. So Claude, lost connection. Let me see if we can get him back. So, so stand by, y'all. So anyway, that's that. We're gonna move on. And next thing we're gonna cover is hello, Claude?
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay, he's back, folks. We missed you.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Yeah, it was just called drop. So let me look at my battery life is it's not great, but it's good enough to continue. So I just wrapped it up about Elon Musk. You know, he made this statement against the mayor of Baltimore. Said he was a DEI mayor, diversity, equity, inclusion, and that's just a flat out false statement. And so he tweeted that, and he had to retract it because he caught a lot of heat for that. Like he caught the heat for the blacks don't have the IQ to fly live. So anyway, that's all I want to talk about him. I don't ever talk about him again. It'll be okay. Next up, you wanted to talk about the infamous P. Diddy, Sean Puffy Combs.
Puffy Combs.
I'm going to let you handle that because, to be honest with you, I don't follow him. He's supposed to be like a record music industry mogul. That's what they call them type of people.
Yeah.
I don't follow him. I don't buy his music. I don't buy the artists that he supposedly manages. I don't buy their music. So I know about him and his exploits, but I'm not well versed at it. So I'm gonna let you take this thing.
All I know is he needs to go down. I think he has something to do with Biggie's death, but now it all is coming to light now. Now I don't know everything, but it's coming back on him 3 times. You know how y'all used to say it,
Threefold.
on him 10 times, come down here on him 100 times.
100-fold.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, when you do a lot of dirt, it's gonna come back on you. There's no way to escape it. Okay, how can I put this? I don't know the man, never met the man. All I've heard are accusations. I wasn't there. I'm not privy to none of that lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, other than what I've heard. And I've seen footage of his so-called parties.
I heard he might be under the tape. Yeah, that's another thing, bro.
Yeah. He's been accused of going both ways.
Yeah.
And also he's been accused of, he's what they call in the entertainment world a gatekeeper, meaning if you go to him and you want to make it in the business, he can provide you access. But what's the catch? What you gonna have to do to get through his gate? And from what I've only heard rumors.
That's what I heard.
And I heard somebody he'd get down both ways and all types of madness, but I wasn't there, so I can't say one way or another if it's true or not. It seems to point to it. Now, one thing he was accused of that is very heinous is that wouldn't somebody accuse him of, was it his wife or girlfriend accused him of rape or murder, or somebody he used to date or marry was killed?
Was it J-Lo?
No. No, not J-Lo. No, not J-Lo. No.
No, I lost.
I can see that. See, that's my point. I don't want to speak on it because, first of all, if you try to sue me, I ain't got no money for it. I had no money. So my point is, I'm not going to speak on stuff I don't know. I don't know because part of the problem is I don't even follow him really much. So I don't want to accuse him of anything because I really don't know. I can't even call the woman's name.
Yeah, I don't know.
I can't call the woman's name, but he's now. Everybody and their mama just seem to accuse him of something, but unless you was an eyewitness and you can. Now, one person who does claim to be an eyewitness who called him to task was Cat Williams.
Oh yeah.
He's something else. He'd call out anybody. And he accused Diddy of some of the things I alluded to. But once again, now he claims he has insider information or he was there at some of these things. I wasn't feel like saying, well, what you doing there? Well, he said this was his job. He came to Hollywood just to get information. Okay. I can't dispute that. He says he's got stuff on everybody. So
that's why I heard.
Yeah.
On Shannon Sharp show.
Right. He said that on Shannon Sharp show, Club Shay Shay. So I don't know what to say. He's somebody. Now, one of the big controversies. We know this man is no angel. Apparently, now I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm not gonna accuse him of nothing because I don't know the man. I don't know how he really. If all the stuff is partially true, fully true, or whatever. But what's his name? T.D. Jakes, also known as T.D. Snakes, was seen at one of his parties. One of his parties started stripping. Now this is a fact because it was captured on video. And people was asking, why do you, T.D. Jakes, you supposed to be a minister, why are you hanging out with P. Diddy? The way he gets down. So he had an excuse for it.
Every time.
He's in hot water too because he's been accused of swinging both ways too. And now that I believe because people have come out who supposedly have been with him. Now, could they be lying? Possibly. But me personally, I think there's some truth to it. I really do think there's some truth to it. And I have nothing against TD Snakes, Jake the Snake. I don't have nothing personally against him. But some of his things that he's been accused of, if they're true, he's a hypocrite. Big time. So that's my take on that aspect of the P. Diddy conundrum or whatever you want to call it. Do you have any other info? I know you chimed in about the. I'm sorry, what?
Wasting my time.
You said it's a waste of your time?
Let's get this one person off my chest real quick.
So are we ready to move on?
Ready to move on.
Thank you, Lord. because I'm struggling with P. Diddy, Sean Puffy Combs, because I don't know much about him. If I really was into that, I could elaborate more. But I just don't have any desire to follow him because I'm not into celebrities like that. I'm only speaking for myself. That's all. All right, let's move on. I think I know who you're going to talk about next. Go ahead.
Let's get him. He got to get this. He got to get it. He got to get it.
Go ahead. You say him first.
I know I'm the head of the table. I know I am. But this time, John Cena got to get it. Come on and trying to clown the Rock. I'm trying to go to Hollywood. And then you go on national TV with no clothes. The Rock got sense. Dwayne Johnson, let's get real. Dwayne Johnson. You don't see the Rock. Dwayne Johnson show no clothes on national TV on the what you call that award?
What's that show? Oscars, whatever that Grammys. I don't know what that junk was.
They paid you enough money to go on TV to show you no clothes with cover your front and back side. Who paid you enough to do that? Because there ain't enough money in the world made me go on the Oscars. Made me look like a fool.
Yeah, I agree with Claude a zillion%. I thought that was one of the most shameful, ignorant, stupid things I've ever seen in my life. Supposedly he was put up to it by Jimmy Kimmel. I don't have no respect for him anyway, because he's not funny.
He ain't no David Letterman. Oh, David Letterman. Come get out of here.
So I'm like, what the heck is going on? So, folks, I know we kind of jumped ahead, but let's reframe this. All right, John Cena, I don't have no picture of him because I didn't want to get one, is a American wrestler. He's out of, if I'm mistaken, he's out of Boston, Massachusetts.
Yeah.
And he broke into wrestling first, and then shortly after that, he got into acting through the WWF. A lot of people don't know this, but the WWF has a movie division that Vince McMahon started, and they were producing a lot of their own movies, and they may still do it to this day. I don't know. I think a lot of times things are done and oh, that's a WWF production. Really? I didn't know that. You just don't know.
Steve is the chaperone with Triple H. Don't waste your time.
That was a low blow there. He's not for too good of a time, folks. So John Cena made a movie called The Marine. The Marine, excuse me.
It's worthless. It's not worth your time.
I don't know about that. Now wait a minute. Now let's set the record straight on John Cena. Yeah, I would concur, but as I recall, you used to like the guy.
Wait. Let's keep it real. When you get when you get a cheap shirt, it's a cheap shirt. Everybody else is like $50 a pop. His about 30, 20, 25, $30.
So that's why you used to wear his shirt.
Yeah. Remember, I was young.
Because you was cheap. You was cheap.
Yeah, I was cheap.
Well, as you may recall, because you know me a long, long time, I never did like John Cena.
Since I was 10.
Yeah. Right. So you know when he hit the scene, which was the early 2000s, you know I never cared for him. You know that. I'm not somebody piling on now because he did something stupid. He done a lot of stupid things, but and so have we from time to time. But we ain't never done nothing that stupid. but
when I was the when then you divorced him over something stupid. But
they really were married.
They was about to get married, but she wouldn't do something for him, and they had it out. Blah blah blah.
I even wonder about that. I wonder about that. Was that all contrived? Because that was part of a show, a TV show, a reality show. I forgot what was it called, Divas or something.
It was the Bella Twins.
That was the name of the show?
Yeah, that was the name of the twins. That was the name of the show.
Wow. So, yeah, John Cena was, among his other dubious accomplishments, he was supposed to marry one of the Bella Twins. They're twin wrestlers.
Yeah. Female
wrestlers. I thought the thing was all just staged for the show. Maybe there was something really to it. But the issue I always had with John Cena, why I didn't care for him at all, was because he came on the scene and he was supposed to be this rapper, like he was Eminem or somebody. And I just thought it was just so fake, so lame. But people really went for it. And one of the greatest matches I ever saw was the time Carlito Caribbean Cool fought him and beat him in his debut match. I just thought that was priceless. Beat John Cena for was it the U.S. belt?
Yeah.
Yeah.
face.
And he spit in his face, spit an apple in his face. I just thought that was classic. So, but John Cena's been very accomplished. He's won multiple WWF championship, heavyweight championship multiple times.
I think they're trying to put him 17 times now.
Yeah.
They're trying to break the record with him. And they're trying to make him go to 50, wrestle to 50. Let it go. His ego is already big enough as it is.
So I've never liked him. Never liked him. The only time I ever rooted for John Cena was the time he fought Umaga.
Yeah.
At the WrestleMania. No, it wasn't at a WrestleMania. I'll take that back. It wasn't at a WrestleMania. It was, I forgot what, it was a pay-per-view, but I can't remember which one. And he beat Umaga.
Yeah.
And that's about the only time I think I ever rooted for him. I never did care for him at all. Then he became Mr. All-American. He dropped the rapper gimmick, and he became Mr. USA.
Yeah. Like the Hulk Hogan.
Right. And for the longest time, people hated John Cena. The masses, because it was so contrived, people just didn't buy it. And finally, after many years of pushing him as what they call in the wrestling business, a face or a hero, people through brainwashing finally accepted it. But I never did. I was one of them that never drank the Kool-Aid. So to back to Claw's original point, so we don't keep rambling on because this show's going to be this long. John Cena came out on the Oscars, the Academy, aka the Academy Awards, and came out butt naked and had a piece of paper over his backside and his front side that he was holding. And he looked like a fool. He looked like an idiot. And they claimed they wanted to push the envelope. What? I don't even know what that means. Push the envelope. I have here's a claw on the screen. I have an envelope. Okay, I just pushed it. What does that have to do with going on and then humiliating, embarrassing yourself in front of international TV? Even though I don't know who watches the Oscars no more, but I just thought that was the most.
Oscar I watched was Oscar the Grouch
back on Sesame Street, right? Ain't nobody watching that, but anyway, I guess some people still do. But I haven't watched that in many, many decades. So, because I don't hold no interest in it. And the scary thing is, I'm into filmmaking, don't care to watch it. But that's just me. I'm only speaking for me. I'm not criticizing nobody who watches it. But I just thought that was a sinking to a new low.
the Oscars let us know.
I'm sorry, what?
When that movie we made, the Red Man goes to the Oscars, let me know.
I doubt it. I doubt a Red Man is going to go to the Oscars, but you never know. Weirder things have happened in life. But
you goes to the best Academy Award goes to Claus.
Now that I would have watched. I'd have paid to see that.
Yes.
But John Cena naked? No. Now, to give you some insight into, and then we're gonna move on from this. I hope to give you some insight into John Cena. Needless to say, he'll try any gimmick, whether he's a heel, a face, he's a rapper, he's a Marine, it doesn't matter. If he can make money off of it, he'll do it. Now somebody might say, well, how do you know that? That's harsh. You're just jealous. No, I'm not jealous. I'm speaking facts. I'm just speaking facts. John Cena, if I'm not mistaken, went to, was it China? And was he butt naked or did he dress up as a lamb outfit, a sheep outfit? It was something he did that it was like, why did you do that? You don't need the money like that. You don't have no problem degrading yourself like that.
Mm-hmm.
But yet, John Cena, the real American hero, G.I. Joe, he did this.
What a joke.
So that was nonsensical to me. And then he got into some hot water because he made a statement. He apologized to, was it China?
Cool.
I'm talking about John Cena. Yep. This is all documented stuff, real stuff. He made something about Taiwan or something. It was something crazy. And he got on TV and spoke in whatever, Cantonese or whatever language they speak. Forgive me. Because I'm not trying to make light of nothing. I just don't know the exact language because they have different languages there. But he spoke in their language and he apologized because he offended them. And it's just he's done some weird stuff to me. And John Cena has been widely hated. Then on the other hand, he's been wildly admired, and he's always pushed as somebody you should love or whatever. And for the longest time, people just was not buying it. And I'm still not. I was one of them. And I'm still not. But a lot of people are on board now just through the power of the way the media pushes things to make money. So that's my take on it. He'll do pretty much anything for $1. He's proved it. And he doesn't need the money. He brags about how many muscle cars he has and classic cars, and he has a mansion and stuff. What else? Maybe he needs to just get a regular job like what's wrong with this guy? Well, so what's your take on this, Claude? And then we're gonna wrap it up. Stop. No, seriously, what you got anything to add about that?
I think you should just get a real job.
Yeah, get a regular job.
That's all I got.
John Cena. No picture. If you never heard of him, look him up. Go on the internet, type in John Cena, CENA. Everything we've said will come up. No fabrications, no lies. All of this has actually occurred. For some people, they have no problem with this. But for other people, it'd be like, that's insane. I'm in the latter category. I think that's insane. Not that a man, he can choose what type of living he wants to make. So John Cena is a wrestler, and he's an actor. And, but now he wants to be a nude model, and he wants to be... What was that? Never mind. Anyway. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Okay. I think we're going to stop there. That was like the answer to my question. Let's wrap this show up. We got a couple of more things to cover and we're done. And the good thing is they're all tied into one another, so it shouldn't be long. Our beloved Pistons, Detroit Pistons, the NBA basketball team, they're not having a great season. That's an understatement.
They haven't been having a good season in the last couple of years.
Yeah. Last several years to be exact. And they don't seem to be able to get any better. Doesn't matter who they draft, doesn't matter who they bring in. They overpaid for Coach Monty Williams, who came from the Phoenix Suns, who was Coach of the Year there, and now he's they called him the meme what they call it, meme coach.
For what? He ain't did nothing.
Oh, God, it's cruel. So it is true though,
And it hurt.
and it hurts. So that's the name of our show. So I have a theory, a hypothesis of why the Pistons have become the way they are. Now, before I get into my theory, I want you to give your analysis of what happened with the Pistons, particularly this year. They were terrible last year. They had the worst record in the league, but they got even a worse record this year.
They're trying to get the number one draft pick, which it will not happen because it doesn't matter what. If they had the worst record, they had the worst record last year, and they still got a sorry draft pick in my mind. And this year, it's gonna be the same, and still they're not gonna get the number one draft pick because they're gonna get messed over. Because the dude from San Antonio was supposed to come here this season, but no, the NBA like to mess over Detroit Pistons over the last 30 years. Over the last season.
You're right. 30 years. You're right. Well, we're going to get to that part. Yep.
Forever. But when you say Detroit Pistons or Detroit anything, they don't give Detroit no respect for nothing.
That's true. That's all true. I agree.
Toilet paper. They won't do toilet paper.
Oh, that's really bad. I can't even wipe myself. So the thing, I agree with Claude 100% on that one. Now let's get into trying to figure this out. Why is it that way? Why?
All right, let's start with number one.
Mm-hmm.
Pistons beat LA. That's just the Pistons beating LA. They dream team. They number one dream team. But you can't beat LeBron James. Well, you can't. No. Let me see.
Well, they unfortunately didn't beat LeBron James, but they beat some of the biggest names in basketball back in the day. They beat Kobe. They beat Shaq. They beat Karl Malone. They beat Gary Payton. They beat Michael Jordan until he finally got over the hump and beat them. He beat Larry Bird. He beat Kevin McHale. He beat Robert Parrish, Reggie Lewis. Reggie Lewis unfortunately passed. But the biggest names, he beat Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Worthy, James Worthy, Cooper, Michael Thompson, Klay Thompson's daddy, and he beat the legendary Laker team, and they did not like that. They not only beat them, they could also beat you up if necessary. What the bad boys did. Now, the first go round with the Lakers as far as championship was in 87, 88, and 89. 90, they faced Trailblazers, Portland Trailblazers. So the Lakers didn't make it to the finals that year. But they made it back and faced the Bulls, but they lost to the Bulls. But that's a side note. In 04, the Pistons faced the Lakers again and won. And I think that thing defied every bookie, every betting organization, all of the critics, all of the, what do they call them? Experts. Nobody gave Pistons a chance in that series. Nobody. And they beat LA 4-1. Now, at that point in time, now this is where my hypothesis, so-called AKA theory, kicks in. Lee didn't like that. But unlike before, this Piston team wasn't beating nobody up. They just beat you on the court. So we can't get them on that. We can't get them on, they're thugs and bruisers. We can't really dog out Detroit like we used to. Although Jimmy Kimmel did say after they won, I hope they burn that city down. He did say that they made him apologize. That was a nut that had John Cena coming out nude. And John Cena, of course, went for it. So anyway, we digress. So the following year, the Pistons were the odds-on favorite to win it again.
And Rasheed took the bad shot at the
But wait, it's deeper. It's even deeper than that. Well, after the Pistons won, they were okay. In that era, we're talking about 20 years ago, they played at the Palace of Auburn Hills in Auburn Hills, Michigan. Even though they were Detroit Pistons, they played in Auburn Hills. So back then, they would pack out the Palace, full to the rafters. The opening game of the 2004-2005 season, I got tickets. And I think I've told Claude this story, but I don't think we've ever discussed this on The Truth Hurts. So I got tickets from, I think it was somebody within the rec department through the city of Detroit. And I'll never forget, I finished my shift at work. And I went straight out there because it was about a 40-minute drive out there from Detroit to Auburn Hills. So I went out there, and I'll never forget, I could barely find a parking spot. I somehow squeezed in some little cubby hole and parked. So then I went in, got my ticket. So after working a full shift, and not having a chance to go home, I'm hungry and tired and hungry. So I want to get something to eat. So I start walking around the palace looking for, a food stand or whatever. And I'm walking and walking and looking and looking and looking and walking and walking. And I find none. None. And I'm like, what's going on? Is this some type of joke, a gag or something? They expect people to come out to a sports venue and not had nothing to eat? And what was in its place was beer stands and alcohol stands.
Who was they playing that night?
They were playing, guess who? Indiana.
That's where
Not yet. we getting there, but not yet. So they played the Indiana Pacers, and my memory serves me, they lost by a couple of points. It was a close game, good game, but I just could not get over because I don't drink. I don't drink alcohol, so I'm stuffed. It wasn't even nowhere to get any bottled water, if my memory serves me correctly. And so after the game, they had these Pistons, some like souvenirs. One of them things you used to be able to bat together and make noise. They were like inflatable plastic. They look like sticks. You remember that gimmick?
No.
No, you ain't missing nothing. Anyway, they were giving those out.
I don't want no sticks.
Right, I didn't want it, but I don't know. Somehow I got a hold of when I was walking out the palace to try to get to my car. So a sea of cars out there. And some guy, this was a big guy too. He looked like he could be Bill Lambert's brother. He walks up to me to my, you got one of them things? I'm like, and was he drunk? And he starts walking up on me. I'm like, I just start shaking my head. No, like, don't even think about it. I don't know you. I'm not going to fight over no stinking inflatable doll or whatever this thing is.
Yeah.
You can have it. You crazy? But that was, I think he was drunk. So as I'm driving home, I'm thinking to myself, whoever made this decision, I don't know if it was Joe Dumars, who at the time was the team, what they call it, the GM. What did you say?
GM.
Yeah, the GM. Or was the president, team president was Tom Wilson, if my memory serves me correctly. I don't know if it was Joe Dumars' decision, Tom Wilson's. Bill Davison at the time was the owner, or it was all three of them. But whoever made that decision just to sell alcohol, I thought to myself, that's a stupid move. That's a mistake. That's a big time mistake, because if you're going to sell alcohol, you better sell some food with it to absorb some of that alcohol, or you're going to have just a bunch of drunken fans, and it's going to get ugly. That's what I said to myself that night. Now, fast forward maybe 2 months later, they had the infamous Malice at the Palace #2, where Indiana, the team we just mentioned, because you mentioned it, and I mentioned who it was. They had the infamous brawl that spilled into the stands, one of the ugliest incidents in NBA history. What was his name? Jermaine O'Neal, Steven Jackson. Ron Artest was the one that started the whole thing. Meta World Peace, which was a ripoff of World Be Free, but I digress. It was one of the ugliest incidents in history, NBA history, and sports history. People was getting assaulted, smashed, ran up in the stands. It was just almost a full blown riot. And I think the decision was made after that they weren't going to let the Pistons rise back up. Now that's just a theory of mine, but after they had their run with the going to work team, Ben Wallace, Rasheed Wallace, Station Prince, Richard Hamilton, Richard Rip Hamilton, excuse me, and Mr. Big Shot, Chauncey Billups. And Antonio McDyess was somebody that had it that year. After that team ran its course, they haven't really done anything since. And they never did go back to the finals. They came somewhat close. But what's the old saying? Close is only good in horseshoes and hand grenades. They never went back after 80. I'm sorry, what am I saying? They went in 03, 04, 04 they went. In 04, 05 they went back to the finals, but they lost. Just like you mentioned earlier, to the San Antonio Spurs, Tim Duncan and company, and Big Shot Big Shot Bob.
Yeah,
Robert Horry. That was a disgrace. But anyway, it was just a terrible situation. So I think they made the decision behind the scenes, and we can't let them rise up again. Because this is not America's team, and Los Angeles is America's team. So that's my opinion. It's not based on any hard-known facts, but that's what I believe was behind why they never really have done nothing since. Everything has gone wrong for this franchise since then that you can think of. They had one brief moment. It was, 2017, somewhere around there. They went back to the playoffs and got swept.
Against Denver? Against Denver or against who?
Who did they play? I think it was Cleveland.
Oh yeah, they did.
Yeah, they got swept up out of there. They had Tobias Harris, Andre Drummond. I don't know if Greg Monroe was still with them. I think they had Reggie Jackson, not the ball player, the baseball player, the basketball, Reggie Jackson. And what was his name? They used to jump out the gym, do all that dunking. But when he got to the Pistons, he had a knee injury. It'll come to me, but it did whatever it was. It didn't help because they lost, and that was it. It was a wrap after that. Ever since then, they have been sinking lower and lower into the abyss. And this year was so bad they lost 28 in a row. They tied a record for most losses in a row, and it's just been a nightmare if you're a Piston fan. But that's only the tip of the iceberg. The NBA as a whole, Claude said it just straight up sucked. I'm not feeling it no more, and I think I know why. Recently, and I finally have another picture to put up. This man here, I'll put his picture up. This is I goofed. Hold on, y'all. This is Bernie Bickerstaff. He's the coach of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Just put his picture up. And he's made a shocking, it wasn't shocking to us, mere Roman, but he made an admission. And some people like, I don't believe it. Oh, believe it. He said that gambling, particularly sports betting, has wrecked the NBA. And he says he's been getting threats. Players have been getting threats because people are putting money gambling on these sports apps, and they're losing money hand over fist. And when they get lose, they get mad, and they want to take it out on whoever they think cost them this money. And it's true. There are a percentage of people who get like that. And it's a dangerous situation. It's a dangerous situation. So gambling has been a big part of sports for many, many decades, probably since it began, professional sports. But now it's a lot worse because you have this technology where everybody and their mama can download a gambling app. What are some of them, Claude? Help me out. DraftKings, is that one of them?
Yeah, that's one.
FanDuel.
Yeah, that's two.
Does Bally's have one, or am I wrong?
I think they do.
Yeah, Bally's. They've been into gaming for a long time. They were also known for video games. So they kind of combine the two, the video and and the gambling, because I think they produce slot machines for Vegas, because they have a Bally's Hotel. So I think they have a gambling app too, but they also are into sports broadcasting. So it's bad, man. So it's a bad situation. I feel for them. But this is what you signed up for. This is why you get paid the big bucks. But I know they didn't think they were going to have to deal with angry gamblers. So yeah, that's what's going on. So also we got the March Madness NCAA tournament. Almost say NAACP NCAA tournament, and that's a big gambling hub with the brackets and the stuff, you know. And if they could do that on the gambling app, they do that too. I'm sure that's all been computerized anyway, you know. So what's your take on that, Claude? Do you see how this could be happening, or does it seem abstract to you? What is your take on it?
I don't gamble, so it don't mean a big thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, I agree with you. I don't gamble either, but so I don't have to worry about losing no money that way. But the problem is when you get people who get mad because they done lost a bunch of money, they liable to take it out on anybody. so we can say it doesn't affect us, but in reality, it could.
Yeah.
And then if somebody in your family gets addicted to gambling, because it can become an addiction, a serious addiction, and they start stealing and robbing, and then next thing you know, they done sold off your plates and dishes to pay the bookie, or I'm just making up something, but you can get. I mean, it can get out of control, and it can affect the people close to you. So
dishes.
I'm sorry, what?
What happened to my dishes?
What happened to my fine china?
I don't know nothing about that,
but yeah, it's and I told Roman this story. Let me take old Bernie's picture down. God bless you, Bernie, for having the courage to come out and say that, because they'll fine you for talking about that. And they have fined a player for mentioning that, talking about that. I think he said a game was fixed. Oh, they don't like that. He said the whole thing was fixed. And they fined him, I think, $80,000. But I told Claude this story many a time. He always gets a kick out of it. But back in the day, when the Lions have become good again, but they have been terrible for a lot of years as well. And but they had a couple of spots, especially in the Barry Sanders era, where they had some really good teams. And way back in the mid '90s, the Lions made the playoffs and they played the Philadelphia Eagles. But the Eagles, they ran them out of the stadium and beat them something like 45-28. It was a blowout. The score is actually closer than what it really was. It sounds closer than what it really was. So anyway, back in that era, I used to had some Lions gear. I had a Lions jacket.
Oh yeah.
And so Claude remember the story. So I'm in a store. It's defunct. It's called Farmer Jack.
Farmer Jack.
And it used to be like the equivalent of a Myers or a Kroger. Now more like a Kroger, which is a grocery store chain in this region. And I'm in the store after this game. It was on a Saturday, if my memory serves me correctly. So I'm shopping for something, and this dude I never met before. Once again, he's tall, 6'7", 8". All these telephone tough guys, these tall guys. And he looks at me, and I don't even know him from the Man in the Moon. And he's like, "What you got your Lions jacket on?" And I was like, "Dude, I don't know who you are, but you stay away from me. Stay away. Just keep your distance." And I'm like, "What is it with these crazy people?" And then it hit me. I said, "I bet this man done gambled his lunch money away, his house note, on betting on the game. Now he's ticked off and want to take it out on somebody. He said, you ain't gonna take it out on me. You're not gonna take it out on me. I'm not buying it." And so after that, I had to stop wearing Lions gear, at least not in public, because it got too dangerous. But that was just that. This was pre legalized betting and pre gambling apps and all that stuff. Only way you could gamble back then, you had to have a bookie and you had to be in Vegas.
I took to Vegas.
You had to go through Vegas to do that sports gambling. It was illegal everywhere else. But once they opened the floodgates with this stuff, now we're in a world of trouble. In a world of trouble. So you want to believe I mind my own business. I'm not into that. I'm gonna be fine. Hopefully, God, hopefully so. Lord knows we hope that's the case. But if you know somebody, or it could be even a stranger, and they've lost some money and they ticked off, no, you know how people can get. So anyway, that's my take on that. Anything you want to add about that, Claude? I know you got something to say.
Yeah, these fools is crazy out here. Like, we just waiting on this regular season.
Which one?
All of it. We already know the basketball season's over. Football season
is around the corner. Right, that's true.
Baseball season, we already know we might get 50-50.
Yeah, it might be all right. We'll see. So we're referring to the Detroit Tigers. It's an unknown. They might be pretty good. We don't know yet.
Yeah.
Wait and see thing. So anyway, I'm gonna skip about that transgender thing in sports.
Yeah.
We'll say that for the next show. Next show.
Let's close.
Let's close on out. We want to thank the Lord for allowing me. I want to thank the Lord for allowing me to live, to do another show, and I hope we besides entertainment, I hope we said or did some things that enlighten people and were a blessing to people.
Yeah.
I hope. When I recommend always read God's word and get understanding. Get understanding, get under the right teaching. I'm currently with First Church, Truth of God, Apostle Geno Jennings. It's a beautiful church. They don't deviate from the scriptures at all. They don't make up nothing. He believes in working. You don't believe in, oh, you didn't buy me a Bentley, so you're going to be under a curse. None of that shenanigans, none of that lies and garbage. So that's the first church I've ever been able to recommend in my life to anybody. And so you can get the truth and get baptized the correct way. So anywho, that's my public service announcement. I hope you look into it, and I hope you will take advantage of it. So Claude, any closing thoughts?
See you next time.
See you next time, sir. Thank you for your friendship. Thank you for all your contributions to the Truth Hurts.
See you next time.
See you next time. Seek the truth, but always remember, once you find it, the truth hurts.
Peace.
Peace out. Peace.